What's going on, everybody? This is Dan here. Welcome to Moonshine Talking. For those of you not familiar with my channel, you might be catching it for the first time. You're checking it out solely for the fact of who the subject matter is for the day. First of all, welcome aboard. Uh, Second of all, give you a brief introduction to my channel, myself, and all that sort of good stuff. My name's Dan. My channel is Moonshine Talking. I primarily focus on a lot of heavy metal, pro wrestling, horror movie content, that sort of thing. I like to talk about stuff. The name of the channel is derived from one of my wrestling gimmicks. I'm a former pro wrestler. I wrestled for many years from 1998 to 2013, on and off for various independent promotions. I never made it big. I'm one of many people that wrestled on the indies, and that was pretty much as far as my career went. I got to do some cool stuff, work with some cool people, got to work with some notable names. If you skulk around my channel, you'll probably see some of them. But I primarily, one of my main gimmicks was Moonshine McCoy. I also wrestled as Sonic Youth. I did most of this in the Florida Independents. Up in the New England area, I wrestled for the NWA for about a year, and that's pretty much, that's what I did as far as wrestling went, and just kind of traveled around and did my shows, did my gymnasiums and my VFW halls and my you know parking lots and all sorts of other various bars and nightclubs and all sorts of places like that. And I did my time and had my fun. And 2013, I had a match and I got hurt really bad during it, and in the process of having to get checked out and repaired from that, the doctors saw that my neck was all jacked up, so I ended up having to get neck surgery done. They fused my C6 and 7 together, and when I asked them if I could wrestle again, they said, we'd prefer you not screw up our work. So I kind of had to choose between wrestling again and maybe I could just work out. If I continue, like I told them, if I can continue to work out and kind of try to be healthy for the most part, then, I'll consider it a day. I'll wrap up wrestling. So that's kind of my background in wrestling. And then again, as far as my channel goes, besides talking about my time spent in wrestling, my thoughts on either current or former product, I also do a lot of heavy metal related stuff. I'm a huge heavy metal fan. I like everything from your more mainstream stuff, even like your early hard rock, 70s, 80s stuff, your hair band stuff. I love lots of death metal and doom metal and getting into a lot of underground stuff and kind of taking you through the process of getting more involved in listening to those sorts of bands and finding new music, discovering older music and older bands and older albums and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the concept behind that. I do lots of album reviews. I do a bunch of live show stuff. I go to a lot of live shows. I'm in the Tampa area, and that's primarily where I hit up a bunch of shows. Sometimes I'll treat myself and go to Orlando, but beyond that, that's pretty much what I do. And then I'll take video on I'll take my crappy cell phone video and share some of it with you. You can see some of it on the channel, and yeah, and that's pretty much what I do. Is that collection updates? I talk about horror movie stuff. Most recently, I did a video on the movie Faust: Love of the Damned. Uh, it's a very cool 2000s movie that was batshit crazy, just a bonkers movie. Had a great cast in it, great director, based on a very off the beaten path comic book graphic novel. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So if you're interested, go check that out. And that's pretty much the type of stuff you'll find in my channel. If you're not interested in any of that and you're only here to see me talk about uh, Aaron Imholte and Steel Toe Morning Show, then I appreciate you checking out the video. But otherwise, if any of you like any of the stuff or you find me entertaining or what have you, then, welcome aboard, as I tell everybody, and hope you stick around for a little bit. And for those of you who are familiar with my channel and you are familiar with me and my style of videos and all that sort of thing, you're probably asking yourself, Dan, who the hell is this? Because usually when I do these watch along things, it's mostly related to matches I've had and talking about that and trying to get some of my contemporaries involved and doing stuff like that. That's kind of the idea behind whenever I do these watch alongs. So this is something new, doing it with somebody who's completely separate of my career or anything within my orbit. So for all of you who are followers of my channel, if you're asking yourself, who's Aaron Imholte? Who the hell is this guy? We know who D'Lo Brown is. We've heard of D'Lo before, but who's Aaron Imholte? So Aaron is he's the host of a YouTube channel called Steel Toe Morning Show. He's a former radio DJ in the St. Cloud, Minnesota area. He got thrown off of radio because I guess he or his fans, his audience, or somebody was harassing some other DJ, and it got back to the management, and the management kicked him off of radio. He kind of incorporates the shock jock style of radio broadcasting that you would find from like Howard Stern or Opie and Anthony, Mancow, a few other various people. And that's kind of like those were his influences as far as his radio style, his presentation on air. That's kind of what he went for. So like a lot of the shock jock guys, he took it a little too far and he got thrown off of radio. So he wound up in what he refers to as internet jail. I found his show because a lot of this stuff that I watch, it's like time killing fuel. I really like Opie and Anthony, so you wind up in this weird algorithm where you find all these different things, and I'd find like the friggin' if you don't, your eyes will probably glaze over when I say some of the stuff. Like I found porcelain documentaries about this one and that one, like Jim Norton documentaries and Anthony Cumia documentaries, a bunch of stuff about various comics. Owen Benjamin's another one that comes to mind. Found these guys who have a show called Revenge of the Sis, and I started watching them. And somehow, so on and so forth, it kind of just started going that way. And somehow Aaron's show came up onto my radar. So I watched it a few times. He used to host it. He had his wife was a co-host on it. And it was cool. I enjoyed it. And it was kind of neat. It was a cool thing to watch between, watching this thing or that one. He'd have some good political takes and, kind of funny and entertaining at times. I actually emailed him once and told him he used to do this Rob Zombie impression that was really funny and entertained me. But by and large, that's kind of how I found Steel Toe Morning Show. And I watch it, but I don't watch it religiously. It's on way too early for me because I work nights and it's kind of hard for me to get up at, like, for me, it'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning, I believe, to watch a show. Now 7 o'clock in the morning to watch a show. And, and then what's made him kind of noteworthy is he's gotten into some offline trouble with other content creators and live streamers and stuff like that. And it's a whole sordid tale. If you're interested, go check it out on your own. There's a whole universe and a whole corner of the internet that covers all this stuff. And I'm not really in all that. That doesn't interest me. It's not something I'm concerned with. I'm just basically, I thought it was funny that Aaron mentioned that he did a tag match with D'Lo Brown. And I said, oh, well, I was going to ask him if he had a copy of it. And then I said, why don't I just look online and see if I can find it? And sure enough, it was on YouTube. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do a watch along of this. I was going to ask him if he wanted to participate in it, but I figured it'd just be for my sake. It'd be a little easier to just do it on my own and do it as a standalone project and share it with people, see what they thought of it, see if anybody gave a crap. So anyhow, so that's kind of my long meandering background. If you haven't left in disgust at this point, then we'll get to it. But first, folks, I did want to share this out with you because I thought this was pretty cool. So we got coming to the Bay Area here pretty soon. Check this out. Hell yeah. So if you're metal fans or not, the bands Crowbar and I Hate God are coming. They're doing a tour. They're doing a summer tour, and they're kicking it off at the Brass Mug in Tampa. The Brass Mug is a very famous dive bar metal club around here. It's been hosting shows for decades. Crowbar and I Hate God, if you're not familiar with them, are very, very prolific heavy metal underground bands particularly in the sludge metal scene. I like all sorts of metal, all sorts of hard rock, glam rock, hairband stuff. I like old classic rock, like 90s hip hop, stuff like that, particularly the East Coast stuff, but a little West Coast stuff. But I love metal. Metal's like that's my thing. That's what I'm really into. That's what I'm passionate about. And I love all forms of it, whether it's traditional, doom, stoner, sludge in particular. I love the 90s Louisiana sludge scene. Crowbar, I Hate God, Acid Bass, Soylent Green, Thou, Ex Hoarder, stuff like that. It's all that's stuff that's really, near and dear to my heart. It's stuff that I grew up on, but a lot of death metal. I've been over the past few years really getting into more black metal and just all sorts of stuff like that. So it was very cool, very exciting that Crowbar and I Hate God are touring together, and they're coming to Tampa to kick off the tour. So I will definitely be at that show. It's going to be a good time. Both bands are awesome live. So to see the two of them together, it's going to be very killer. I mean, as you can see from not only the hat, but the banners in the back, you can't see it, but I got a picture of Crowbar hanging up. These are some of my favorite bands. So getting to see them together is going to be like, hell yeah, brother. So anyhow, let's get into this because we're at about the 12-minute mark and we haven't even begun the main attraction here. So let me get things sorted here and then we can get started. So this is what we're going to do. This is a match from, I'm going to presume, the Minnesota area, and it's for a company called Crushed Pro Wrestling. It's the System, who I do not know who or what that is, and Danny Duggan versus D'Lo Brown and Aaron Imholte. If you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you know who D'Lo is. He is a very well-known wrestler. Particularly, he was popular in the Attitude Era. Wrestled as D'Lo Brown. He did various gimmicks, but probably the most famous one that he did was when he was in the Nation of Domination with The Rock, Farouk, Ron Simmons, Ahmed Johnson, I believe, was in it for a little while. No, I'm lying to you. No, it was Mark Henry. I'm sorry. I should know that because of the whole DX thing. But anyhow, but D'Lo, one of the most famous things he did was when he took a Pearl River plunge from Ahmed on a car at, I think, a Shotgun Saturday Night. Very cool, very memorable thing to happen. Pearl River plunge is it's a tiger driver, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a power bomb where you double underhook a person for a double underhook suplex, lift them up, they go parallel to the ground, and you drop them into a power bomb with a sit out variation, and that's a Pearl River plunge. That was his variation of it. But anyhow, I'm kind of babbling here. So that's the match here. And Danny Duggan, I looked up a little bit of him. He did a couple things with WWE, dark matches and stuff like that. He went to Japan and worked for a couple of companies that Tajiri ran. I did some stuff with Ring of Honor, and yeah. So anyhow, I've babbled on long enough. Let's get into this.
Introducing first, the special enforcer for this matchup from the Steel Toe Morning Show, Aaron Imholte.
I have to turn that down because I'm not getting copyright stricken for this music. But there he is, the man of the hour, Mr. Imholte himself. I would love to hear the crowd reaction. See if we can.
Fresh Pro Wrestling fans.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play any Pantera on this one. So apparently, from what I gather, Aaron is an enforcer in what looks to be a match between D'Lo and Danny Duggan. So I had to check this out a little bit, and let's move forward here a little bit and see how D'Lo looks in the ring, see how the Danny Duggan, see how he works, and then we'll get to the interesting stuff in a moment here.
On this quick. Danny's got to get out of the ring or this is over.
The question I have right now is how
long
will it take for the system to get involved?
On the apron.
Hold on a minute. What?
It's like D'Lo's going for his frog
Here we
splash.
go.
Aaron Imholte up.
So the
The referee
system is a
down.
guy, apparently,
System up.
the manager.
Oh, we've
Special
got
enforcer
it.
calling
We've
for the
got it
bell.
broken out of the ring.
Disqualification.
And if you didn't already
A
hear and
disqualification.
see it,
And we got
Aaron
Danny
is
Duggan laying it on again on
Aaron
D'Lo.
is
D'Lo on the
off of
wrong
his
end of a
perch.
beating.
by the announcer's desk. As
Someone
these
needs
two
to do
put the boots
something.
to
Put a
D'Lo.
physical stop to this.
Oh, there he is. Here he comes.
that
Duggan
ring bell
directing
not doing
traffic.
much. It looks like Danny Duggan.
Aaron, you got to get in the
choking him
ring. You
out.
got to do something.
All right. Let's see what he's going to do. All right.
Smartly not getting physical with Danny Duggan.
He's not a wrestler. He's just an enforcer.
A quick end.
I'll be honest, that was kind of weird. A weird way of doing all that. Usually with people in the enforcer roles, they get a little bit physical. So it's kind of weird to see the heels powder out for no good reason. Just the mere presence of an enforcer. You know, you get guys like Mr. T, Ken Shamrock, guys like that. They usually somehow got involved in the match. Even Ronda Rousey, I think she might have done some enforcer role in one of her in some capacity. But nonetheless, that's just little critical points that I'll make here and there.
And here, Danny Duggan headed to the showers. He's heading back up north.
Let's go.
We're done! These people did not pay $1 for traveling back to end their night. You know said on Friday on the radio that he had my back. Well, I got D'Lo's back. And with the authority given to me as special guest enforcer, Danny, System, what are you saying? You turn this thing into a tag match.
Player, it's a tag match.
Teddy Long, eat your heart.
So as far as promos go, that wasn't too bad. I mean, that's it didn't have a lot of fire to it. And I just realized the guy's got his makeshift Roddy Piper shirt. He's Hot Shot instead of Hot Rod. But yeah, so I guess this is where we get started. This is where the actual action is going to get started. So we'll check this out in earnest.
Start out. The System. He's suited up. He can't do that now.
Aaron's not a wrestler, Beard. I mean, it's one thing to want to get in there. It's one thing to want to get physical. It's one thing to want to watch the back of someone you are calling your friend, a WWE legend, D'Lo Brown. It's another thing when the fists start flying. Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. And while I am not the System's biggest fan, he is a trained wrestler. And Danny Duggan is one of the best unsigned wrestlers in the world. This might be a tactical error.
Junior official James Durden up to 7. Oh no. Danny Duggan.
Ugh.
Aaron in the corner.
Ugh. That was terrible. That was ugh. Yeah, that's all I can say to that.
Oh, maybe distraction because D'Lo just putting it on. The System clothesline in. Throwing his body at the System. Danny Duggan finally entered the ring. Takes a kick from
All right, I understand that. Oh boy, that clothesline, that elbow, those are terrible. Those were not good. But this other guy, he's not very good at it either. He just the way he came in the ring and just that whole little awkward exchange that wasn't very good. But we'll keep soldiering forward here with this one.
D'Lo,
A little steel toe of his own here.
double clothesline.
Double back elbow.
Danny Duggan did not sign up for this, Beard.
No. Singles
no.
action.
Oh,
He's a gun.
oh.
Looked like a double suplex.
Danny Duggan getting out of the ring, realizing that
I get the impression they probably
things have fallen apart
showed
here for him.
Aaron a bunch
The
of this
best laid
stuff
plan he had
right
for him in the
before
system,
match
and
time.
things have fallen
Basically
apart.
tried
And now
to get
pulling
him
the
through the
system
little bit of
out and
stuff
a
that they
hug
were
on
actually
the
going to have
outside,
him do.
saving his good buddy. You may have thought that Danny left him out to dry there, but no. No, he came in there, saved his friend.
I know Aaron said that he said he had a few matches. I don't know how much training he had, but if it began before this, he didn't really get his money's worth because there's not a lot of commitment or follow through in any of the stuff that he's doing. I'm just talking from a technical aspect, but you know, that's just me. That's just me picking stuff apart here, which was the whole purpose of this, just to check it out and pick it apart, be critical of it.
And now they're having a little council here on the outside.
Aaron with a shot to the gut. System now in trouble as D'Lo is just running him over. Aaron blocking Danny Duggan's attempts to throw him into the ring head first.
D'Lo and System right out here in front of us. And James Durden trying to gain control here.
D'Lo in complete control. System in trouble. Huge elbow. System trying to scramble away. Duggan has control on the other side. Aaron is in serious trouble. This is that moment when you realize you are not a wrestler and Danny Duggan is.
But a reversal.
Oh!
So for an indie
Right
show, this
into
isn't
the
a bad
wall.
crowd,
All of
but
the
they
momentum
picked
from that
the wrong
reversed
venue
Irish
for
whip.
this. They could
D'Lo
have picked a
picking
smaller
up that
building
violin.
and
Oh no.
And Aaron
had
did
it
a
look a
smart
lot
thing.
more full.
He's going
but,
back to what
you know,
D'Lo
it is
is.
what it is.
Work together as a team. Watch out for one another. And do not put yourself in a position where you're forced to fight one of these wrestlers alone.
System.
Yeah, I kinda had a
winding
feeling
up
that was gonna
big
happen.
Slap and hitting that steel post. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't break every bone in his hand.
All those phalanges.
But Danny Duggan back in the ring already.
Oh. Catches D'Lo before he can get in. Catches Aaron right on the top of the head.
How does he like that steel toe?
Not good.
System and Danny Duggan back in control and working like a well-oiled machine. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Oh,
Head-to-head collision.
that was rotten.
It looks like they're going up.
WrestleMaps in stereo.
And the Kimball crowd here
Oh.
coming.
Danny Duggan
Yeah, those
Just
punches
plant
aren't
D'Lo
great.
on the top turnbuckle, face first, and just save the system from getting pounded.
Oh, what? Oh, he's got that fanny pack.
I know. I'll
That
pause
thing
this
can't
for
be
a
loaded.
second. I know Aaron says he's got a boxing background and whatnot, and sometimes that doesn't necessarily translate to pro wrestling very well. Kind of like how amateur wrestlers, sometimes they don't make the transition very well into the pro style, just because trying to mix the work and shoot sometimes can be a challenge for some people. But that said, you could make the case, well, I'm used to hitting people for real, so trying to pull my punches and stuff like that and make them look good without killing somebody, there's an art to it, but that art was summarily crapped all over with those punches because they were awful. I'm sorry. They're just terrible. But let's keep up here. Let's see what's going on with the loaded fanny pack. Probably full of gimmicks, and
loaded
cell
fanny
phone
pack?
and whatever
Face,
else.
meet fanny. Oh!
Sky high!
D'Lo taking him
That
down.
was good.
Stunner! Oh, diamond cutter!
So that
I'm
was
sorry.
all right.
The cover, 1, 2, 3. And Aaron Imholte and D'Lo.
So Aaron and D'Lo get the win. Let's check that out again. That whole finish there.
Back.
That thing can't be loaded, dude. A loaded fanny pack?
Face, meet fanny. Oh!
Sky high!
D'Lo taking him down.
Stunner! Oh, diamond cutter! I'm sorry.
The cover, 1, 2, 3. And Aaron Imholte and D'Lo Brown.
They're your winners! Campbell, Minnesota!
What an amazing way to wrap up Crush 7. We talked about Aaron and how much he was going to have to get involved, maybe a little bit more than he bargained for. But
Yeah, so that was something. So overall, I would say that I don't know what year this was, but overall, Aaron was not very good in the ring. From a technical aspect, his punches looked terrible. His clothesline and his elbow at the beginning, those looked awful. But then, D'Lo helping him out a little bit, definitely, because D'Lo is a pro, so he knows how to do some of this stuff. But no, that finish was good. That was actually pretty good. The hitting him with I guess that might be the guy's gimmick, is the loaded fanny pack, and having him bump his buddy with it, having him hit the buddy with it, and then that feeding into the what is it, the sky high is what D'Lo called it. That like friggin' that elevator power bomb sit out deal that he does. And then that cutter was good. That was not half bad. I feel like the cutter was one of those moves, the ace crusher, the stone cold stunner, the diamond cutter, the RKO, whatever anybody calls it, the TKO variation of it. I think that was like the 90s version of the DDT, where everyone was learning how to do that in the 90s, like everybody was learning how to do a DDT back in the 80s, and all kids would always DDT each other. And then in the 90s, it was all doing cutters and stuff like that. But yeah, man. So that was interesting. I don't know what anybody else thought of it, but I thought it was kind of fun to check it out and give my commentary. There wasn't a whole lot of meat on that bone because it wasn't a long match. I would be curious to see some of the other matches and see if there was any progress made as far as in-ring ability. But overall, I would give that match we'll give it a 2 on technical ability, and that's only because D'Lo brought the 1 up. He brought it up from a 1. I'm sure the crowd went home happy. I'm sure him being a local personality, that probably helped sell a couple of tickets there. But yeah, it was overall, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Certainly some of my matches could have given it a run for for his money as far as being bad. I mean, at least nothing got botched. It just didn't look very, very good or very, very professional. But that wasn't the worst thing in the world. So anyhow, so that was that. That was my watch along with Aaron Imholte of the Steel Toe Morning Show and D'Lo Brown versus the System and Danny Duggan. So I'm Dan for Moonshine Talking. Hopefully you all haven't been bored this entire time. If you stuck around for the entire thing, I appreciate it. I appreciate you sticking around with me. And if you're new to the channel and you're interested in checking anything else out, check it out. And hopefully some of you subscribe. I pick up a few subscribers doing this and you're interested in the stuff that I do. And otherwise, if not, I will see you down the road somewhere. And for everybody else, as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. And don't forget to breathe. Everybody, have a good one. Take it easy. And I'll catch you on the next video.